Grand Rising, and welcome to another segment of CLG View Point. I'm Cindy, Lorraine, Grais, and it is such an honor to have you here today for another segment. Today we're going to cover how to teach a kid fish for the first time. Local news. FortisBC's LNG facility in Kelowna approved. Addresses winter gas shortfall. RCMP says more resources needed to better police drug activity. Youth get their hands dirty learning to fish and trap. Alberta hires former judge to investigate health spending corruption scandal. And Halifax bridges to close some weekends as toll booths are removed. Closing, what are we thankful for? Well, each segment, I start with the sage clearing. For some of you who haven't heard of a sage clearing, it's a process to clear out all negative energy, leaving each segment with positive energy. Only divine love and divine light are welcome here. To do this process, I light up a sage stick. More here. To all low energy entities, you are healed, forgiven, enlightened, and sent back to your perfect place, and escorted by my spiritual guides. And so it is. Leaving our space with divine love and divine light only. And now on to the video. Teaching your kid how to fish for the first time.
Fishing can be a lot of fun or it can be really stressful. In this video, I'll give you all the tips I've learned from years of teaching kids how to fish. The first step is for you to find a good fishing spot ahead of time. Go there by yourself or with a friend, find out what kinds of fish are there and what they bite on. Set your kid up for success from the beginning. Cartoon character poles are toys, not serious fishing gear. You'll be lucky to get a handful of fishing trips out of a cartoon pole before it stops working and frustrates both of you. The goal is to be fighting fish, not your equipment. So buy a decent rod and reel from the beginning or let the kid use yours. This is another reason to fish together with the kid. You can have one hand on the pole or at least be closely monitoring them if they're using your nice equipment. For the first few trips out to introduce a kid to fishing, do not bother bringing a fishing pole for yourself. If you catch any fish, it should be on the kid's pole to demonstrate how it's done. If the kid's pole isn't good enough for you to catch a fish, how do you expect them to catch any? Tying lures on is incredibly boring to most kids, so don't make them watch you for 15 minutes as you get things ready. You should arrive at the spot ready to fish. Bring lots of snacks. A snack break can be a nice reset button if someone gets frustrated, or it can pass the time while you're fishing on the bottom or with a bobber and waiting for a strike. Their first few attempts to cast will probably need some improvement. I would recommend having them learn how to cast in your backyard or a local park. Find a wide open area and get their casting technique down. Once they get good at casting, give them a target and have them practice and earn some reward if they can hit the target. A kiddie pool makes a great target and makes a nice exciting sound when they hit it. Casting plugs are available for practicing. They have no hooks and are fairly heavy to make casting easier. But do not buy a fish-shaped one. They catch the air and fly crooked. The kid will never be able to hit their target because your casting plug randomly turns in the air. This is a surefire way to get someone really frustrated with casting. For bluegill fishing, bring a small hook or jig and a bobber. I prefer narrow bobbers, not the big round ones. The skinnier the bobber is, the easier it is to detect a bite. The big round bobbers make a ton of noise when they hit the water and they take a lot of force to pull down even a little, so a bunch of your bites will go unnoticed. If you're bottom fishing for things like carp, catfish, or bullheads, bring a game or activity to keep you busy while you wait for a bite. Use rod holders to keep the rod still and make it easier to detect a bite. Often the fish will hook themselves and it will be obvious that you have a fish on. Remember that the trip should be special time with your kid. They will remember how much fun they had talking with you, learning a new skill, catching a fish, or seeing a dragonfly. Let them have fun and guide your time by the water. Even if they don't catch any fish, they will enjoy their time and they'll want to go back out again.
What a lovely time. Family time with dad and daughter or with mom, or it's just a wonderful experience for children to spend that time out in the fresh air, out in the environment, and learning how to fish. It's wonderful. Now, on to Truth News. Local news. FortisBC's LNG facility in Kelowna approved addresses winter gas shortfall. Okanagan Capacity Mitigation Project involves construction of a small-scale LNG storage and send-out facility. Ladysmith Chronicle, written by Gary Barnes, March the 4th, 2025. The BC Utilities Commission, BCUC, has approved a FortisBC project that will help meet an expected shortfall of natural gas in the Okanagan in winter of 2026 and 2027. The Okanagan Capacity Mitigation Project, the RCMP, involves the construction of a small-scale liquefied natural gas, LNG, storage and send-out facility along Spall Road in Kelowna, next to an existing natural gas station on industrial zone land owned by FortisBC. Construction is expected to start in 2026 with the installation of one mobile tank and 3 portable LNG tankers that will be filled and staged on site in preparation for extreme cold weather events. A second and final phase of construction is set for 2027. It will see 6 prefabricated storage tanks permanently installed on site to increase storage capacity, consistent with demand growth. Once construction is completed, the total capacity of the storage facility will be approximately 300,000 US gallons. All stored LNG will be transported annually from the FortisBC Tilbury facility in Delta. No LNG production will take place in Kelowna, and the on-site tanks are expected to be empty for most of the year. The Spall Road site was sought as an alternative to supply LNG in the Okanagan after FortisBC's pipeline expansion was shut down by the BCUC in 2023. That project included the construction, installation, and operation of approximately 30 kilometers of new pipeline on the east side of Okanagan Lake from Penticton to near Chute Lake. The BCUC denied the $327 million project, stating the project was not necessary for public convenience or in the public interest. Personal thoughts. Under natural law, wasn't the production of natural gas to be increased substantially? What happened? And is BCUC responsible for the slowdown of production, thus not following natural law? RCMP says more resources needed to better police drug activity, other crime in Duncan. Up to 20 more police officers would be helpful, says RCMP Staff Sergeant Ken Beard. Ladysmith Chronicle News, written by Robert Barron, March the 5th, 2025. Well, the North Cowichan Duncan RCMP detachment would need a lot more resources and police officers to do a more thorough job of keeping the community safe, said Staff Sergeant Ken Beard. Beard, head of the detachment, was taking questions from members of Duncan City Council at its meeting on February 24th when he was asked by Council Tom Duncan about a recent drug bust in the region in which a mid-level drug dealer from Victoria was arrested with a large quantity of drugs and weapons after a traffic stop. Duncan said he has seen people standing on street corners in the city that are not on bus routes every day at about the same time, and he expects they are waiting for the drug dealers to arrive. Quote, is there a way to make sure that the local police are aware of the approximate times and areas where police are standing around waiting for where the people are standing around waiting for their dealers to come? Close quote. He asked Beard. Quote, I know it costs a lot of money to catch someone and put them in jail, but if you can't buy drugs here in Duncan, I think that's a bit of a deterrent. Is there some way you could tackle this? Close quote. Beard said it's a difficult situation to deal with on a day-to-day basis. He said the detachment has members going to all kinds of different calls for service every day for a variety of different reasons, while at the same time the drug unit is actively building information and intelligence based on what they see in terms of drug dealers in the community. Quote, it's one of those things where we can try to focus on that person that's standing on the street corner, that's buying their own personal possession, or we can try to hit the minimum to medium level drug dealers, which is probably more productive. Close quote, Beard said. Quote, we could spend a lot of time trying to generate some lifestyle information on who is standing on the corner, but we would need a lot more resources to try and tackle that, working from the very ground up, close quote. Duncan pointed out that it's not the people on the corner who he wants to see dealt with, but the drug dealers who arrive in vehicles. Councillor Gary Bruce asked Beard if he had a wish list. What would he ask City Council to do to help the detachment? Beard said more resources, including up to 20 more police officers, would be what we would ask for. Quote, that would allow us to have people down in the highway corridor 24/7, and it would give us extra resources to work on our drug unit and extra resources to work in our general investigation section unit, close quote, he said. Quote, I think that would certainly help and also allow us to be more proactive in terms of being present in the community, close quote. But Beard said he realizes that bringing in up to 20 new police officers may be prohibitive for the community. How do we try to get as much done as we can while supporting the community to try and stay safe? He asked. It's a difficult thing to try and address when you've got so much need all over the place. My personal thoughts. Hire more police officers. Plain and simple. Keep our streets safe. Our community safe. Will the community under natural law be introducing peace officers? Something to look into. Youth get their hands dirty learning to fish and trap. Cabin Radio, written by Claire McFarland, March the 5th, 2025. Quote, I would encourage everybody to do this, close quote, said Justina Beaverholt after watching a crowd of eager learners pull a nice fishing net out of Great Slave Lake in Yellowknife. 7 fish of almost as many species were carefully hauled in by community members looking to learn new land-based skills. The experience was part of the Native Women's Association of the Northwest Territories Fishing for Wellness program, led by Nathan Kojak and Clayton Bell. Beaverho and Marla Lawyer found out about the program on Facebook and thought it would be a good opportunity to learn about the land, something to which they haven't previously had much access. Quote, I've never seen an on the land experience before, other than outside of Yellowknife, of course, said Beaverho. Beaverho and Lawyer attended the previous day's workshop as well, in which Kojak taught attendees to skin a wolf and Bell demonstrated the process for setting the ice fishing net. I've learned quite a lot, said Lawyer. Lawyer and Beaver Ho agreed that the two instructors piqued their interest in being on the land and made it seem like something they could and would want to do on their own. They're good teachers, said Lawyer. I wish I had them in high school, Beaver Ho added. Facilitator Clayton Bell said he was happy to get on board when he found out about the program a month ago. Quote, to teach these skills to especially our younger youth is pretty cool, close quote, said Bell. Seeing them come out and get their hands dirty and touching the fish and helping pull the net and stuff, that was pretty cool to see. Clayton said he was lucky to have his father, who is Cree from Saskatchewan, start teaching him about fishing and being on the land when he was around 12 years of age. He said one of his responsibilities while fishing as a kid was to listen for the sound of the floats attached to the net knocking against the underside of the ice. That's pretty cool to be able to have those skills from a young age, said Bell. He said he continues to fish for sustenance for his family, usually setting a net in the fall and using the catch to fill up his freezer. If you want nice, fresh fish, midwinter is a good time to replenish the freezer, said Bell. One of the reasons Bell was interested in leading parts of the program was to teach people about sustainability and affordability. Quote, you talk about the cost of food nowadays. Typically, if I caught, say, 100 pounds on a real good catch, it's about $1,000 to $1,500 worth of fish if you were to buy that in the grocery store, said Bell. It's great to be out on the land to do the stuff like this and teach our youth, said Bell. And I even see some older people interested in learning this too. My personal thoughts, a wonderful way to learn about self-sufficiency, learning off the land, and bringing in the food for your family. Alberta hires former judge to investigate health spending corruption scandal. The Canadian Press, written by Lisa Johnson, updated March the 4th, 2025. The Alberta government has hired a former head of Manitoba's provincial court to investigate allegations of high-level arm twisting in lucrative government contracts. The government said Monday that Raymond Wyant's work is to begin immediately with an interim report to go to the government by the end of May. He is to review multi-million-dollar Alberta Health Services contracts for children's medication and for surgeries done by for-profit providers. In a news release announcing the appointment, Krista McPherson, the Deputy Minister for Jobs, Economy and Trade, said Wyant will operate independently of government. The government is to provide access to all relevant documents and facilitate interviews with relevant individuals. However, the opposition NDP said Wyant's marching orders make it impossible for him to get to the bottom of the scandal. The controversy erupted last month when the former head of Alberta Health Services filed a wrongful dismissal lawsuit. In the lawsuit, Athana Mensopoulos alleges government interference in overpriced health deals for private companies that reached as high as the Premier's office. The allegations have not been tested in court, and Premier Danielle Smith has denied any wrongdoing. She has already lost a cabinet minister over the matter. Last week, Peter Guthrie quit as infrastructure minister over concerns about government-wide procurement problems. West Yellowhead MLA Martin Long was named as Guthrie's replacement on Thursday. Health Minister Adriana LaGrange, who was named in the lawsuit, has said she will vigorously fight the claim and soon file a statement of defense. Alberta NDP leader Naheed Nenshi said the allegations deserve a full public inquiry led by a judge who can subpoena witnesses and require evidence under oath. Instead, Nenshi said the Wyant investigation is designed to give Smith cover. Quote, the Premier's hand-picked judge has welcome expertise and background, but she is hobbling him before he begins by placing him in a straitjacket of restrictions from day one. The study's strict terms and limited scope will prevent this judge from getting to the bottom of this corrupt care scandal, close quote, said Nenshi in a statement on Monday. Quote, Wyant has been asked to deliver a report to the very office he's investigated and then let the Premier sit on it for a month. That's simply not good enough. He added the study appears to be focused on AHS employees and not on allegations of corruption in the government. Wyant is the former chief judge of the Provincial Court of Manitoba and also worked as a defense lawyer and a Crown prosecutor and has taught law at the University of Manitoba. He is to be paid $31,500 per month, with a budget for third-party support set at $500,000. The terms of reference task Wyant with finding whether any elected officials or employees of the government or AHS acted improperly in the context of the government's expressed policies objectives when the relevant contracts were being signed. Also, he is determined whether any staff with the Health Ministry, AHS, or the companies involved in the contracts properly disclosed and dealt with any potential conflicts of interest. A final report is due to the government by July 30th, and McPherson promised it will be posted publicly. Personal thoughts. All being trialed under natural law. All will be held accountable for any kind of corruption. Is this a full forensic audit under natural law? Halifax bridges to close some weekends as toll booths removed. CTV News, written by Natalie Lombard, published on March 5th, 2025. Halifax's two bridges will soon be closed some weekends as the toll booths are removed. The tolls will be lifted by Angus L. MacDonald Bridge and A. Murray McCabe Bridge by April 1st, as the province takes over the Halifax-Dartmouth Bridge Commission. Premier Tim Houston promised to eliminate the tolls during last fall's election campaign and included in the 2025-2026 budget. The MacDonald Bridge will be the first to close after the evening commute on March 14th. Work will then shift to the McCabe Bridge, but both bridges won't close at the same time. The Bridge Commission says crews will remove the toll booths, wiring, and concrete. Quote, even we don't have full bridge closures, you may see equipment and workers on the bridge. We're going to have extra bridge patrol on to be on the lookout for speeders, says Kelly Shears, a communications advisor for Halifax Harbour Bridges. Most of the work is expected to be done over 2 weekends, though it could take longer. The province's 2025-2026 budget estimates roughly $36 million in revenue will be lost due to the removal of the tolls. It has set aside $86 million in the public works budget for bridge maintenance and another $15 million for operating costs. Halifax Harbour Bridge says more than 33 million vehicles cross the bridges annually. And the video.
Off Halifax's bridges by April 1st, but that means some weekend closures are on the way. Starting next Friday, the MacDonald Bridge will close after the evening commute. Work will then shift to the McCabe Bridge, but both bridges will not be closed at the same time, we're told. Crews will remove toll booths, wiring, and concrete. The Bridge Commission warrants the work will continue for some time afterwards.
even when we don't have full bridge closures. You may see equipment and workers on the bridge. We're going to have extra bridge patrol on to be on the lookout for speeders.
Most of the work is expected to be done over 2 weekends, but as you just heard there, it could take a little longer.
Personal thoughts. Another natural law being implemented. Is this the start of the removal of all, yes, all toll booths? Sure looks like it. Closing, I am Cindy Lorraine, Grais at CLG View Point, and I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for you being here today with me. If you feel compelled to, please share this forum with others. I am a retired teacher, and I sure appreciated the time I had with teaching children. It was one of the most important times of my life. So rewarding and a pure blessing, and the parents were absolutely beautiful people. I was honored to have that opportunity to be a part of their lives and the incredible and amazing learning experiences that the children taught me. We sure used to have a lot of fun. Here's a video that I used to play to the wee ones. What are we thankful for? Enjoy. Have a wonderful day and see you on Friday, March 7th, 2025. Until we meet again.
Gets a soul, everybody gets a mind to let them know that we can be smart, that we can be kind, that we can be living by giving and loving all the time. So on the days when it's feeling tough and it seems like you don't have enough, let's be thankful for our friends and family and grateful for the air that we breathe and appreciate everything that we have today. Let's be generous to anyone who has less than us. It's good to be compassionate, 'cause ever since the day you were born, yeah, we've got a lot to be thankful for. Yeah, we've got a lot to be thankful for. Everybody gets the land, and everybody gets a seed. So everybody lend a hand to those in need. 'Cause we can be nice, we can all share, and we can keep growing together. It's better when everyone cares. So on the days when it's feeling tough and it seems like you don't have enough, well, let's be thankful for our friends and family and grateful for the air that we breathe and appreciate everything that we have today. Let's be generous to anyone who has less than us. It's good to be compassionate, 'cause ever since the day you were born, yeah, you got a lot to be thankful for. Yeah, we've got a lot to be thankful for. So, what are you thankful for?
I'm thankful for my family.
I am thankful for my neighbors.
I'm thankful for my dad. I'm thankful for the food I have to eat. I'm thankful for my heart.
I am thankful for my brother and
I'm thankful for my teacher. I am thankful for my house. We're thankful for the earth.
So on the days when it's feeling tough and it seems like you don't have enough, well, let's be thankful for our friends and family and grateful for the air that we breathe and appreciate everything that we have today. Let's be generous to anyone who has less than us. It's good to be compassionate, 'cause ever since the day you were born, yeah, you got a lot to be thankful for.
Thankful.
Yeah, you got a lot to be thankful for.
Grateful.
Uh-huh. got a lot to be thankful